welcome back to Culture Clash Reactions. My name is Fen, and I know what you're all thinking. Where on earth is Akasha? Unfortunately, she's dead. So today we're going to do... I'm kidding. Imagine if that's how I moved on. Yeah, she's dead. So today we're going to do a bit of Dave Chappelle. Can't wait. Anyway, moving on. No, she's not dead. She's very much alive and healthy and happy. Thank you. She's actually at work, firstly. And then the second thing was, we were talking the other day, and we'd mainly do, like, for those who know the channel, we mainly do like comedy and music or whatever, things like that. And when we started doing more serious stuff, it's sometimes, particularly when it's something that she didn't know much about, she felt uncomfortable comment on it, which she's right, especially when it's like serious, sensitive topics. But I'm not as uncomfortable, first of all, and not like I'm some kind of encyclopedia, but this kind of is more my interests, particularly this particular topic, and particularly because I'm half Arab and half British. I'm half Libyan, half British, and which makes me like half Muslim, half Christian, half brown, half white, half Western, half Eastern, which I think is the most important differentiation. Anyway, the point of the story is, it's me on my own today, so if you're not happy because the pretty American girl is here, tough tits, don't know what to tell you. Anyway, on to today's video. I saw about 2 minutes of this clip and thought, this is what I want to do for the channel. I'm going to do it on my own today because, as I say, I'm here. I saw Bassem Youssef, the brilliant Bassem Youssef is the only way to describe him. Brilliant man, was on the PBD podcast. For those of you who are not familiar with the PBD podcast, it's named after Patrick Bet-David. Now, I've seen about 4 or 5 episodes of this guy's podcast, and this is the essentially the preface of the podcast. You've seen a million of them, but his obviously caught on, and it's this. Welcome to my podcast. I have a cock. I have a cock, and I have money. If you don't believe me, you should see my expensive suits. I wear expensive suits. I smoke cigars because I have a cock. If you watch my intro, I'm literally with a flamethrower. I mean, I have a... Sir, are you disputing whether I have a cock or not? Because I can go get my flamethrower right now so we can end this dispute. And it's an expensive flamethrower, sir. I have my cock has money, sir. My cock has a bank account, sir. One of those. You've seen them everywhere. Let's just say I'm not that I don't want to hate on him too much, but you've seen these podcasts 1,000 times. Just overly, we get it. You've got a dick and you've got money. We get it. All right. Like it's. I don't know if there's any more to the podcast than that. And they're obviously these kind of like right wing guys who are just like, I don't know, just the same talking points that you've heard 1,000 times, but they like to pretend to be outside the box because they invite people who are basically more brilliant than they are. And today they invited somebody who is way more brilliant. And to be fair, from what I know of Patrick Bet-David, again, I don't want to sound like I'm totally hating, but I am, but fuck it, who cares? At least that guy sounds like he's a bit worldly and cultured. I know like a little bit about his background, coming from Iran and blah, blah, blah. And you know, he was Muslim, I think, then he's Christian. Like, he has a story. Whereas the asshole sitting next to him, I don't know where the fuck he found these two cronies. One is supposedly a comedian, and I can't find anything he's ever said that's funny, but we'll leave him to one side. The other cocksucker sitting next to him, I've seen videos of this idiot before. A guy called Adam, I can't even remember, do you know what? I don't even want to remember his last name. It's Sonic or something. I'll have to look it up properly, but the guy is a grade A frat boy prick who has no knowledge of anything, just obviously grew up. He's going to tell you that, no, I grew up in the hood, bro. My mom was a baker and my dad was a... Obviously grew up privileged, and obviously, I think by the sounds of the video, I didn't realize he's Jewish. And the problem with Jewish people is right now is they need to differentiate, they need to distance themselves from Zionism, the same way as Muslims distance themselves from the likes of Al-Qaeda and ISIS. They have to distance themselves, but they haven't figured that bit out. They haven't figured out that it's not the same thing yet. They're still defending Israel. But anyway, we'll get onto the video. But anyway, this prick wants to go head to head with Bassem. I watched about 2 minutes of it, and it was so good that I was like, we got to do a reaction to it. So let's just get into the video, shall we?
I actually think you're a smart guy. I actually think you know your stuff. You're just so
Right off the bat, look at Bassem's face. Look at his I actually think you're a smart guy. I think you know your stuff. You're fucking damn right I'm a smart guy and I know my stuff. You don't know shit, which is what we're just about to prove. We're just about to show how little you know, and you're giving him the validation. I actually think you're a smart guy. Like, you're welcome. You're welcome, this fucking dickhead.
Fixated that Israel's the problem. The problem in the Middle East, like I said, follow the money. The countries that are succeeding, the Qataris, even the Saudis these days, they're coming into the modern world. They're leaving the 6th century mentality behind and say, let's get into the 21st century, where they need to succeed, in whether it's Gaza or whether it's Lebanon or whether it's Syria and whether Afghanistan. They need to focus on GDP, not GDT. Gross domestic product, not gross domestic terrorism.
Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. This guy's racist. He's racist. He pretends to learn talking points as if I'm not racist. The reason I don't like Muslims or don't like Arabs is because I'm going to explain to you. He's just racist. I mean, he really thinks he's brilliant when he came up GDT, no GDT, gross domestic terrorism, and the idea that like the Arab countries are finally following. They're not in the sixth. They're following us, the Western world. Look at us. I mean, there's drug addicts everywhere and broken families and rapists everywhere. Whatever. Not that I'm not trying to like say that like that's the Western world, but we don't have the exact that each region of the world. Take it from somebody who's half, who's lived in the East and lived in the West and lived in two countries that are very, very much, one is very much Eastern, one's very much Western. They both have their positives and negatives, and people in the East recognize the positives of being a Westerner. Okay, sorry, I'm going off now. They recognize the freedoms and this and whatever, but the guys like this idiot don't recognize the positives of being an Easterner, and that's what I mean, like community, family, all these things that are like broken down in the Western world. But anyway, this is what this idiot wants to tell us. Like, you know, Qatar, good job, you caught up to us. Good job, Qatar. Fucking dickhead. Let's keep going.
And the problem is they're obsessed. Put the guns down. Put the Quran down. Actually start living by the words that the Quran says, not some false.
So put the Quran down, but start living by the Quran. I mean, again, coming from somebody, I'm not going to pretend that I'm religious at all, but put the Quran again, that's just like, just so fucking this prick.
Equivalent of what they think is actually going on there. You talk about the genocide in Israel or in Gaza as if it's just a matter of fact. Well, let me show some stats for you, because after you see these stats, Israel's the worst genociders ever. The numbers, according to the world data, if you trust data, between 1990 and 2022, the Palestinian population overall went from 2 million to 5 million, okay? Pretty bad at genocide if that's what's happening right there. In Gaza, it went from 645,000 to 2.1 million. It's 3x. That ain't genocide to me. Now, to 20,000 people, 30,000 people needlessly killed during this bullshit war that was started by Hamas. Is that horrible? 1,000,000%. And any Jew or any Israeli...
Give me that number again. 600,000 to what?
645,000 to 2.1 million.
From what to, from when to where?
This is in 1990 to 2022.
Do you know why they increased?
Because they're having babies like crazy.
No. You see, this is how like when you watch data while being uninformed makes you look very stupid.
Tell me why. Tell me how the population has gone from 2 million to 5 million.
Yeah, because most of the 1.5 extra million didn't come from Gaza. They were pushed away from other parts of Israel.
Dickhead.
So most of these people, they have increased because of refugees being kicked out.
If you're talking about the settlers, those are tens of thousands.
I'm talking about
those
Gaza.
Aren't millions of people.
Dude, listen. My wife's family is not from Gaza, and yet they found themselves in Gaza because they were sitting in other cities and villages outside Gaza. This is the systemic pushing of people from other parts of Israel, pushing them to Gaza. That's not
millions of people. This is why I said that you're intellectually dishonest or intellectually lazy.
No.
This idiot, I've just realized, this moron on the left, this Adam, this idiot thinks that, maybe I should watch him. Am I getting this right? Sorry, we've got to go back a second.
Pushing of people from other parts of Israel, pushing them to Gaza.
That's not millions of people. This is why I said that you're intellectually dishonest or intellectually lazy.
No.
That's not the cause of millions of...
Oh, yeah, he is. Okay, this is how dumb this fucking idiot is. He thinks that Bassem is saying the reason the population has grown in places like Gaza and blah, 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 is because Israeli settlers have moved in. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that the Palestinians, the Arabs that are living in Israel, have been pushed to places like Gaza or the West Bank. That's what he's saying. They're basically being treated so badly that at least they have some kind of refuge in Gaza. That's what Bassem is saying. This fucking idiot thinks that Bassem is saying the reason it's he's just so dumb. He can't be this dumb. And this narrative of having babies like crazy, that's what like the classic fucking just idiot Western guy would say. Like, oh, well, you know, these Eastern people, they pop babies. Well, maybe one, maybe you should start fucking some more. But two, that's just not a fact. That's like their irrational feel. Like, yo, the Muslims are gonna take over. They're having like 9 babies. We're having 1. We're being outnumbered, bro. Like, it's the classic just racist rant of a guy that knows what he's talking. But let me just let Bassem fucking.
I'm familiar with the settler stuff and the disengagement in 2006.
You don't know what you're talking about.
These are people that millions of people.
What?
Okay.
The people who belong to Gaza are 700,000 people. Right now, Gaza is 2.2 million. That is not birth rate, my friend. These are people pushed from. And by the way, that's not the first time. 1948. At the night of the declaration of the State of Israel, 1.5 million Palestinians were like moved overnight.
In 1948. So stop talking about October 7th. In 1948, way before any of you or even your grandparents were born, 1.5 million Palestinians were told to leave their homes right now, get your shit and leave. Which everyone who's watching right now has no idea what that's like. This started a long time ago, jackasses, not 2 months, 3 months ago.
So it's not the first thing. So before you giving me numbers you want to appear smart, know what are behind the numbers, because these are not people giving babies.
Okay.
These are people being pushed from other places in order to be part of the open air prison that it is.
Correct.
Okay, so then,
so it's not delivered.
If you want to fact check me, let me fact check you. Anytime that there's numbers increasing, Bassem, going from...
His name's Bassem, you ignorant, fucking rude piece of shit.
650, 450, whatever you want to call it, to 2 million, however it happens, that's the exact opposite of a genocide.
He's just explained to you, jackass, why there's more people, you fucking idiot. He's just explained to you. That's not what we're talking about. He's saying the reason that I can't believe I'm going to break this down. Please, if you're watching this, you're understanding what he's saying. He's saying that Arab Palestinians who live in Israel, they've been literally pushed into areas of Gaza and West Bank. That's why the population has increased. Have people died along the way, Palestinians? Yes, by the thousands. You look at him with his little pie chart. It's classic, dude. It's classic fucking the blind leading the blind. A dumb guy telling another dumb guy, see, there's no genocide. Look at this line. It goes up, bro.
So the whole genocide, the whole open-air prison are talking points. Are talking points of BS.
No,
and this is why I said you're either intellectually lazy or you just hate Israel.
Bassem is intellectually lazy. This guy is honestly maybe a genius.
This whole thing about you hate Israel and hate Islam, this is a very lazy way to talk to people.
It's kind of like your thing.
What did I tell you that is so lazy? What did I tell you, like you're fucking racist?
Because you've already said that multiple times.
No, I didn't say.
Yeah, you said that multiple times.
I said your undertone is racist.
So not me, but what's going on inside of me.
And someone like.
That's not what undertone means, you fucking idiot. This guy, it's his second language, and he's explaining to this fucking moron what undertone means.
The way that you analyze numbers is very lazy, because again,
really, when I actually use stats and data from the most credible sources, that's lazy.
These are numbers that were outside of Gaza.
You've said no stats. You've given a fucking opinion
like
the whole time.
He's breaking. He's breaking.
Has increased triple, or the size people in Texas increased because of birth rate. No, they increased because people from California started moving voluntarily.
Excellent. Very well put. Couldn't have put it better. Texas, their population has increased in the last 3 years, not because of birth rate, because people from California and blah, 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 and all New York have moved to Texas. Thank you. But I'm trying to get this idiot to understand what he's saying, but he's not understanding.
You have pushed 1.5 million people outside of Gaza, inside of Gaza in a matter of 12 years, and that's why the number has inflated. It's not because they were giving birth rate.
So then where's the genocide?
They were evacuated.
Where's this alleged genocide happening?
That's happening right now under your eyes.
So as of 3 months ago, there was no genocide. So it's just a new thing.
We didn't actually use the word genocide before 3 months ago.
Okay, but you've been calling for the river for the sea
didn't use it
for decades.
Well, also Israel have a lot of maps that is putting in the greater Israel from the Nile and the Euphrates. That's genocide for 5 countries there. And this is not by people in the street or people on YouTube. These are ministers. These are officials in the official government of Netanyahu. If you have someone, an Arab president, like the Egyptian president or the Jordanian king, tell you from the river and the sea, it's like, oh, it's the Arab authorities. You are basically complaining people on Facebook and the official viewpoint of the Israeli government. You're basically...
He's too good. He's too good for him. He's too good. Such a valid point. It's one thing, some idiot like me with a microphone yelling on YouTube, and it's another thing when it's an official who actually has his hand on the red button and he is able to tell an army, a general, this is what we're doing, this is what we're not doing. It's two very, very different things. I mean, like imagine if like one of the Arab world leaders was just like, I think Iran's the only one that outwardly say it, but if any of like the neighboring countries came out and just were like, yeah, to the river, to the sea, down with Israel, whatever, they would find a way to have a war with some random country like Jordan or Lebanon or whatever. We have to go in there to protect the Lebanese people, so we're going to bomb them, just like they did in Libya. But go on, carry it. But just so well put by Bassem. I mean, he's trying to explain to him, it's one thing when it's just like activists who've been like hurt because they've lost an uncle or lost or whatever, and they are absolutely not wrong, by the way, they're correct. But it's another thing when it's somebody, an office man, it's somebody who literally has the AOK to just launch rockets at a whole community, dude. It's absolutely nuts.
Comparing apples to oranges. It doesn't make any sense. You're basically comparing activists with people with power, with money, and with weapons. So I don't know how come you compare.
So what's your solution? Because you got all these answers and we have no solutions. What's your solution?
I don't know if you noticed what he did there. He's gone, okay, so you've answered all my questions brilliantly. I have nothing. So what's your solution then, Mr. Smarty Pants? This guy is a fucking piece of trash, man. He really is.
Stop killing people. And give them back their land. That's it.
Okay.
And giving them back the land, it's going to be a much more complicated thing.
Who's going to lead your negotiations? Mahmoud Abbas, 88 years old?
I have no idea, man.
No,
I have no idea.
That's the point, you don't have an idea.
Well, when I say I have no idea, I'm being humble because there's a million people who can do it, but like I'm not a politician, I'm a comedian. I come here to tell some of my opinions, but the thing is you want to put me, and you use that and you give me, I'm sorry to say, butchered political information and numbers that doesn't say anything.
Stats are really butchered and political.
Yeah.
But
they are butchered. He just explained to you why they're butchered, you fucking idiot.
For Israel, but you have no solutions for Gaza or Hamas. Very interesting. Very interesting how you can critique everything that's going on in Israel. Yes, they do have some things they need to rectify. Just like the United States, just like any democracy. You've got all the answers there, Bassem. When I said, what do they do over here in Gaza? What do they do? I have no idea. I'm just a comedian. Don't listen to me. So which one is it? You either know your shit or you're actually just...
So what was your question? What's the solution for Israel?
So what's the solution
I said Israel
for
Gaza?
Gaza?
Back the land. For Gaza, how about you stop the killing and then we can talk?
Okay, so let's say we do that.
Okay.
So here's what I believe. I think we need to demilitarize Gaza. We need to de-radicalize because they're the leading...
How are you going to deregulate? How do you do that?
I gotta jump in here. This fucking idiot. For those of you who don't know anything about Gaza and what even Gaza is, most of you want to be no disrespect, but like even be able to like point out on a map or how like they've been like basically blockaded in. I don't know if it's 2005, 2006. There's this giant. It's the best way to describe it is an open air prison. That came from David Cameron, by the way, who was the Prime Minister of the UK. Not some guy with a microphone. Here's some facts about Gaza that you may or may not know. Real simple. The width of Gaza is 5 miles. Okay, the width. The length, I believe, is 25 miles. So a tiny little city, if you like. There are 2.2 million people living in an area 5 miles wide and 25 miles, like 2.2 million. Okay, of which 50% are people under the age of 16. So children, 50%. So when they start saying, oh, we've lost 25,000 people, blah, 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 just know that realistically, 50% of those are under 16, probably way more. Okay. Also, you can imagine when you're blockaded in, like a massive air prison, they have no rights. They're in this massive wall. They can't leave. They can't come. They can't do nothing. They stay inside that wall. That's where you live, like a rat. There is 60% unemployment in Gaza. 60% unemployment, which basically will only breed people with no hope. Absolutely zero hope. Not that I am like praising anything that would, that they would do, Hamas or whatever coming out of that. But when you imprison people and there's no work, and now with the blockade, with the war, everything, all supplies that they get, food, fuel, whatever it is, comes through Israel. Israel has cut all of that off. They are literally living off nothing, off rats. There is maybe one hospital left, I think, that's like surrounded by the Israeli authorities, that's left that they haven't bombed. If you bomb a refugee camp, how are we sitting back and watching this, and there's still idiots like this who are trying to defend it? There's still morons like this who are trying to tell you that Gaza is the problem. This little strip, look at the size of Israel. I mean, what never really existed, Israel, but they took pieces and pieces and pieces, and that's what's left of it is Gaza. And they're the problem. We need to go into Gaza. Let's start with Israel, bro. The ones with all the money and the guns and the banks behind them and the media behind them, and everything that they need is there for them to kill as many people as they like with no consequences. Me and you can sit here and go, hey, listen, what can I do? Like, I'm just a milkman. I'm an Amazon driver. All right, cool. But this idiot over here still wants to not only defend them, but like the Palestinians are the problem. Are they completely innocent in this? No one ever is in a conflict. But everyone can see, anyone with the brain, bro. Anyway.
Maybe let's stop.
So how about
stop summer schools where they teach about jihad and they start playing football and soccer.
How about the religious schools in Israel that actually tell people that we should kill all Arabs? And these videos
you know all those Jews that are running around bombing everywhere around the world? No, it doesn't fucking exist. It's only in Islam.
Oh, really? But what about the Jews killing?
The mask is coming off. The mask is coming off. His true thoughts are now coming off because he's being cornered by Bassem and he's too smart for him.
The Palestinians inside.
I'm talking about around the world. If I said there was
we're bad people. We're bad people. Take us out.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, we're very hot.
Okay, what I'm saying is they need to.
Religion. We are a terrorist religion. Take
exactly.
it out.
You said
Kill
it.
us all.
You said it. Your words.
Yeah.
Your words.
Let's do it. I mean, like
your words.
This is like you have a really interesting outlook for people who look like me. You look at me and I'm Muslim, and you have all of these assumptions about me being a terrorist, while Islam is not a terrorist.
Not at all. Go on, keep going. The best thing with this guy is you gotta let him talk. He's gonna dig his own grave.
I didn't say those words.
You know what's the difference between Islam and terrorists? They go on like some rogue groups and they kill and they do shitty stuff. But you have like a whole country with a whole military arsenal who is committing terrorism every single day, backed up by the US.
There it is. There's your Israel talking.
Yeah. I'm going to talk it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Totally cool.
That's my opinion.
Totally cool.
Yeah.
It's all good. But you're trying to tell me that Islam doesn't have a terrorist problem?
Muslims have a terrorist problem.
Correct.
It's like when you say Islam has a Muslim problem, when you say Judaism has a Muslim problem. All right? A lot of Muslims are assholes and they're doing horrible stuff. And I do not feel the need to defend those people because those people don't represent me. The thing is,
if Jews were running around all over the world blowing themselves up as suicide bombers, as a Jew, I'd be like, guys, what the fuck are we doing here?
Everything about every time he opens his mouth, I just want to throw up on the world. I mean, guys, what the fuck are we even his way of communicating is absolute horseshit. Like, he's just such a fratty, like, douchebag. Like, bro, like, go to a club, pop bottles, like, let's get some bitches, play some beer pong, and now, like, and by the way, hey, let me give you my 2 cents on Israel, bro. Like, what the fuck? Idiot. Absolute idiot. Listen to me. I feel like I have to say this. This is like a really dumb thing. I feel like I'm dumb just saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. For those who've never, like, I spent most of my life in the Middle East, in Arab countries, North Africa. Like, all my friends are, Muslim, Arab, whatever. Coming from somebody who's not religious, by the way. I'm not even going to pretend to be. Anyway, I feel like I just have to say this. When I'm sitting in the coffee shop back home or with my guys on the street corner, whatever, I've never heard, or I could never even imagine someone being like, dude, you know what? I want to go I want to blow up some fucking infidels. Like, what, bro? Like, I think this guy thinks we're having these kind of conversations where, like, I've got to go, bro, like, what the fuck? Put the guns. Dude, that's not a normal, like, that's not what's happening. Like, I feel silly just saying that. That's not what's happening. Like, that's not what Bassem's trying to explain to this absolute imbecile. Is that a few rogue guys, and when we say few, you look at like something like the Paris terror attacks, if that's like 5 or 6 dudes or whatever it is. First of all, we denounce these. We don't prop these guys up like this guy's trying to prop up Israel. Okay, that's the first thing, is that we distance ourselves as Muslims, that these people not only don't represent us, but in fact, they impact our lives so negatively, whether it's in our community, whether if you're just a store owner who has a kebab shop and people start vandalizing your shit, or whether it's like me who gets randomly selected at the airport every time at the airport because I have a Libyan passport as well as a British one. Let me tell you, it impacts us way more than it impacts you. Trust me on this. I know a few people die in the street and oh, this is all terrible, but generally speaking, not only we like, what's the word? I don't even say like profiled or whatever, but I mean, it's just exhausting. And that's what this idiot is trying to explain to him. Whereas this moron here is literally standing, but he's trying to explain to him it's one thing when it's some rogue idiots, and when it's another thing when it's a whole state who are a legitimate state with an army and with bank accounts and with this and with media and with whatever, and they're doing this shit. It's two completely different things. And this idiot is actually defending their actions. That's what's so baffling.
What are we doing here?
Okay.
This is accomplishing nothing.
So let's keep
the reality. Jews aren't doing that, and Christians aren't doing that.
Jews are not.
Let me ask you a question.
They're not doing that in Gaza. They're not doing that in the West Bank.
Everything you talk about is Gaza. I'm talking about the world.
What's happening right now?
You're so obsessed with this one topic.
I am.
I'm trying to understand the world.
There.
Okay.
Because my family lives there.
But my family's in Israel.
Really?
So only your family counts. My family doesn't count.
No. Okay, but like, did your family are live in an open air prison and being killed every day?
The open air prison, the genocide.
Get them. You see how you
get them new talking points.
You see how
open.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep going. Bassem is he's digging himself open. It just shows you, man. It shows you his mask is coming off. His what I mean by mask is this is his like face for the world. See, I'm not a racist. Here's my talking points. Here's a graph of a line that blah blah blah. Mask comes off. Oh, fuck them in their fucking open air prison. These dirty Arab bastards. Kill them all. That's what we do. That's what we got to do. That's what is coming. It's coming next. He's just trying to control himself, but Bassem is poking and poking, and this guy is just not equipped enough, man.
It's the only talking point.
Israel left Gaza in 2006.
It didn't leave. It left and they put it under blockade.
It's called a disengagement. Why do they have a blockade? Maybe because they're shooting missiles hundreds of times a day. Yeah, I'd pretty much put a country in a blockade if they were shooting missiles every single day.
Cut them from the sea, cut them from the water. It's like, okay, go live. How do you do that?
Let's move on from Israel because I know you're hyper obsessed with it. Why?
I'm not hyper obsessed. You keep asking me about Israel.
Yeah, he asked him. The just jackass asked him. You're right. So you're obsessed with this. So I'm gonna like move on. Like, no, dickhead. You asked me a question. I'm answering it. You fucking
I'm asking you about Christianity and Muslims and Judaism. You want to focus on Israel. Why can Muslims move to any Christian country they want, but Christians and Jews can move to 0 Muslim countries? Why is that?
Is he can't be this ignorant. He can't be this dumb. There's no one's this stupid who somehow has gotten himself this is what I mean by these podcasts, man. I don't know how they get on the. Did he just say there's no? My mother, who is British and a Christian, has been in Libya for 44 years, along with all of her friends. And I lived in an oil camp in Libya that was 50% expats. Hey, dickhead, ever heard of Dubai? Ever heard of Qatar? Ever heard of Kuwait, Bahrain, all these what is he talking about? Look at Bassem's face. Look at Bassem's face. It shows you how little he knows. And not only that, by the way, when the Christians, or you want to call it Christian Jews, move to these Middle Eastern countries, they're usually treated better because they have better jobs, better salaries, usually paying no taxes. Other way around, we're always profiled and they come here for our jobs and our this and our that and all. They're probably terrorists and they're probably fucking like shish kebabs or whatever the fuck. But please, carry on. I want to see what Bassem says.
Is that?
What about Dubai? What about
I'll ask it again.
What about all of these countries? What are you talking about?
You mean the
country? Mentioning Qatar and Dubai and all. There's like a lot of expats living there.
So Dubai, I believe now is 89% expat. 9 out of 10 people are not from the UAE in Dubai. Think about that. 9 out of 10. Only 10% of the population. This guy is so uninformed.
This is my point, and I'm glad you're catching on.
Yeah.
That I'm not racist. I'm pointing out.
Well, there are Christian countries who like shit. I wouldn't lose that because of the economy.
I'm pointing out that in certain Muslim countries they're getting it right, or at least attempting to.
Good for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Okay. Well, I'll stop you right there because I know what he's getting at. He's going, yeah, like look at Qatar and they're copying us or whatever. Again, being from Libya, I can tell you that before the US and NATO came and destroyed our country, the Libyan population was 6 million. 1 million was expats, and most of them were my friends who went to international schools. All the people who I grew up with in Libya till today, French, Filipino, Dutch, German, Australian, Japanese, Taiwanese, all of them, they go, dude, man, we miss Libya. We miss Libya and we love Libya and we miss the old days and blah, blah, blah. So this idea, this guy is trying to paint, you understand the picture he's trying to paint, is that they are so terrible that it just shows how little he knows. So I'm telling you, forget Dubai and forget Qatar and forget Kuwait and all this stuff. Let's say Libya is one of those countries that you would go, okay, that's like a real Arab, like Muslim, strict, conservative country. I'm telling you, not only did we live in harmony and beautiful peace, but man, I had a wonderful childhood along with all of my expat friends, all of my French and British and German and Dutch and Filipino and Chinese friends. Idiot.
Good for them. Good for Qatar. Good for UAE. Good for Saudi and what MBS is doing. Good for them. They're examples of what could be done. Gaza, if they took the billions of government of international aid, could.
Is this guy trying to claim Gaza has billions of dollars? There's no food for people to eat.
Be Dubai, but they decided to make a terror state. So the question that I'm asking is,
are you saying that there's so many money coming in, and just like Hamas used it in order to make weapons?
There's people of Hamas who are literal billionaires living in Qatar, flying around on private jets. How do you explain that?
They're horrible people, and I don't condone them. All right.
Right.
Okay. I'm talking about the millions of people in Gaza.
But horrible people, Hamas. Let's not talk about that. We'll move on. But Israel. Let me give you a dissertation over here.
Like
I'm trying to give you some.
You're just like shouting over me.
I'm
just
not.
To make
Right. Because every time I'm talking,
you are basically
talk.
going around all of the stuff that's happening with Muslim people that is bad, and then basically what you're doing is you are undertoning. You are trying to find an excuse to keep that killing in Gaza continue because
Right.
Muslims are bad. Muslims are terrorists. Muslims are poor. So let's just like kill those people in Gaza.
You are so intellectually lazy. It's comical because I'm not.
Bassem is intellectually lazy. Bassem, not this guy. Bassem. All right, I'm just checking. Just want to make sure I'm on the right.
Not even talking about Gaza.
You keep insulting me.
You keep insulting me
because I'm trying.
Because she's like you are a motherfucking racist. You know, like how would you?
What
feel
have I
if
said that's racist? I'm saying that there's
that you say about racists, the way that you speak about Muslims, that we are terrorists and we are horrible people. Basically, you're telling people that we deserve to die.
Bassem
And Israel has everything to do in order to kill those people. Anyways,
I've said zero of those words.
Hopefully, if
I said zero of those words, but you were absolutely. I mean, wait, mask on. I said zero of those words. You're damn right. Fuck, how did you catch me? But I would never say such a thing. But yeah, I want them all fucking dead. I hate those Arab bastards. This fucking guy, man.
You were putting all those words in my mouth. I said zero of those words.
If my wife's cousin, who's a doctor, get killed tomorrow, I'm gonna send you a postcard.
So if my actual cousin gets killed in Israel, that's okay.
They will
Don't worry, your actual cousin. Yeah, go and carry on.
Because you know what? They are safe because he's not living in an open air.
Why
are they safe? Maybe because they have the Israeli Defense Force, the Iron Dome that stops all the missiles.
They don't have that.
Yeah, Gaza doesn't have that.
Maybe you should have built that instead of tunnels.
With what?
With all the billions of foreign aid that was given.
What billion foreign aid are you?
How much money does Iran give? How much money does Qatar give? How much does the international community?
Actually trickled through Israel. You understand that Israel is actually holding
your
that
argument holds no weight because all you're doing is defending Hamas. You have zero argument.
I'm the last one to defend Hamas, by the way, and I've actually said the terrorist group, and I'm a big fan of Hamas. But I'm just giving you some facts. Every single money that goes into Gaza goes through Israel. As a matter of fact, Biden has a big problem with Netanyahu because he's withholding the tax money that paid by the Palestinian people to the Palestinian Authority, and Netanyahu is holding it back. Have you heard about that? Have you read about that? Nope. Just 2 days ago, if you're reading your stuff, but you don't. But the thing is, Netanyahu is holding back the tax money from the Palestinian in West Bank, and he's not giving it to
You're so funny, man. You're so funny.
No, you're just so ignorant.
You're saying all the money.
Answer what he just said. Answer, because he doesn't have that information. He doesn't have that information. Bassem knows what he's talking about. You're so funny, man. Answer the point he just said, dickhead.
Yeah. That's going to Hamas is coming through Israel? Sure.
Filtered through Israel.
Sure.
Filtered through Israel.
Yeah, all the money from Iran going right through Israel. Sure. That's likely. All the money from Qatar.
Transfer by Netanyahu in 2019, the Likud party, telling them that he is actually overlooking the amount of money coming from Qatar, and he is doing that in order to split the Palestinian Authority. Listen to me.
I'm familiar with this. I'm not disagreeing with...
How about you listen, educate yourself about that.
I'm not disagreeing that Netanyahu has done some fucked up things.
Oh, here it is.
Okay?
Here it is. Oh my God, here it is.
Biden is in frustrating call told Bibi to solve Palestinian tax revenue issue?
Because Israel is withholding the taxes. You understand every single money transaction.
That's your argument right there?
That's part of the argument. Every single money transaction, whether it's taxes, whether it's it has to go through the Israeli government.
So all the money that Iran is funding Hamas, you're saying that goes through Israel? Is that what you're saying?
Through Qatar, through Israel.
Okay. That's so false. It's so flagrantly false.
I want you to educate yourself more.
Okay, I will. I'll go read up on this. But if you mean to tell me that Israel is intercepting the money that Iran is sending to Hamas and says, yeah, we'll send it to you guys. But believe me, they're not doing it.
By the way, it's 11:15. It's 11:15. We're going to wrap up. Here's what I will say. I'm going to be very honest with both of you guys. I mean, I've been listening to both of you guys, and I love this. I love this. Let me tell you.
This guy a fucking idiot. Here he comes. I got a cock. I got money.
Why? The average American right now is sitting there. There's a group that agrees with you.
I got to jump in. The reason, I got to say I love this. I love this because my views are going to go through the fucking roof, which means the 50-foot yacht I was going to buy is going to be 60 foot. That's why he loves it. This is a serious fucking topic, dickhead. Innocent people are dying right now, and you love this. This isn't up for debate. This isn't like, is global warming real or is it not? And then people get to put in their 2 cents. This is happening underneath our eyes. And this idiot in his fucking expensive suit and his cigars stuck right up his ass is telling about how he loves this. And if you really love it, why don't you continue letting Bassem fucking beat the shit out of this guy? Because your guy is looking like an idiot right now. I will give this guy credit that he's got 2 cents. The one next to him is, literally the personality and the charisma and the know-how of 3 pencils. He knows nothing.
There's a group that agrees with you. Regardless of what it is, a lot was said, and it was actually pretty educated discussion. For me, I'm normally not this quiet. I love the fact that I heard this conversation. I loved it.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast,
suck a nut. All right, well, there you have it. Sorry if I got a little bit... Akasha's so happy she's not here right now. No, all joking aside, not only is it a serious topic, but it's just, for me, it's just like defending the indefensible over and over. And, October 7th, okay, we agree with you on this, okay? And by the way, even that, perfect timing. Anyway, whatever. They're just... Jewish people have to stop. They have to. And by the way, let me tell you something. I've met Israelis and I've met Jewish people. They're not the same. They're not the same, dude. Like, very, very little in common. Jewish people are actually very calm, humble, usually very smart, usually very, neighborly and things like that. Israeli people are kind of like a bit wild and a bit like in your face and annoying, and not to mention all of their political views, but I'm talking about even just their personalities. They're not the same. They need to distance themselves from these idiots. But of course they see that as like their their homeland, their pilgrimage, because of what happened after the Holocaust. What happened after the Holocaust? I have to keep reminding people it was a white Christian country that did that. Okay? The grandchildren of Nazis. The grandchildren of Nazis are here with us today, running around, no problem. They can travel as they want. Nobody holds anything against them. Nobody. But when it comes to Arabs, particularly Palestinians, they're the true bad guys. The ones that gave them refuge when Hitler was trying to wipe out an entire generation. That's what people... I can't get my head around it, dude. I cannot understand. And then you get uneducated morons like this guy who's trying to defend it and trying to bring it back to the same old, lazy, uneducated talking points. Yeah, Hamas gets billions of dollars. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe there's 3 guys who have yachts, but general Palestinian people every day are starving and are dying right now. And Israelis are going to work and they're going about their life and they're going about their blah, blah, blah. Are they 100% safe? No, because that whole region, that whole region in the world is not safe 100%. But anyway, back to Bassem. I thought Bassem did a phenomenal job. You talk about like just somebody who was not only educated, not only informed, but also he was just calm and was able to dismantle this idiot. Like, what the fuck, guys? Like, oh yeah. And he just kept like insulting Bassem as well, trying to throw him off. And Bassem trying to explain to him, dude, I don't think you're racist. I think you have racist undertones. Oh, so I'm not racist. My underbones are. What did he say? The guy's a moron. I mean, literally, I actually saw another clip of him months ago. If anyone's a fan of the show, there was an American guy. It was a black guy who lived in Saudi Arabia, and he was talking about what a positive experience he had living in Saudi Arabia, and this idiot couldn't get his head around it. He couldn't get his head. What? Saudi Arabia is like messed up, bro. Why, have you been? No, but like TikTok. There's no TikTok over there, or some fucking stupid ass talking point. Anyway, the point is, I really enjoyed what Bassem did to him, and I really hope that people who are properly ignorant on the subject, actually, it's not even about educating yourself. It's about right and wrong, dude. It's no pro this or pro that, pro Israel, pro. It's about right and wrong. It's that simple. What's going on is so wrong, dude, and we're just watching it. Like, I want to be on the right side of history. It's just nuts. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video somehow. Sorry Akasha's not here to calm me down. And but yeah, I might actually start, like, I was thinking about starting my own YouTube channel, something separate that's like more like for stuff like this and a bit more kind of like serious and whatever, and keep our reaction channel a fun channel. I don't know, give me your thoughts in the comments. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all on the next one.